going to make this video just about going up and down the Basingstoke. We're due to come off it later this week, so we're going to go up as far as we can before we have to turn around. I don't think we can get quite to the end, but what we want to do is see if we can get under the shortest bridge. It's the shortest on the network, 5'9", and there's a couple of 5'10s before we get there, and our air draft is supposed to be 5'10", so on paper we shouldn't be able to get through them easily, but I've heard that you can, so we'll see. I've had a few comments from people saying that they're not sure about coming onto the Basingstoke because of the low water and the low bridges, but our boat is a very standard boat. We're not particularly deep drafted, we're not particularly high. We couldn't get through the Froggle Tunnel, so we're not, you know, we do have a reasonable air draft. So I'm sure if we can get up and down it, most other people can. So we'll see how we go. At the moment, the water, depending on who you talk to, is particularly low. It's 4 to 6 inches low, which it wouldn't normally be in April. But apart from the fact that down here in the south we've had no rain at all over the winter and the spring, after Storm Eunice, 69 trees came down on this stretch of canal, and one of them breached the canal, and all the water was drained out and they had to do a repair. So at the moment they're keeping it low because the water management system allows for them to keep water up at the ends of the canal to release down if supplies get really short, and they do tend to get short here by the end of the summer. So if you wanted to come here, it would definitely be better earlier in the year rather than later, but they do their best to keep it open, and it's a really underused canal. We've literally seen 2 other boats which you saw on the previous video, and we've been here 2-3 weeks now, and there's, you know, apart from the boats that live on this canal, a couple of from ODM and, you know, the canal centre, nothing's come up or down. So it's a real shame. It's the whole thing's a triple SI. It's beautiful because the army run quite a long way down the side of it. There's been no building, there's lots of countryside. They have gorgeous flashes, which are little lakes off the canals, which I'll show you later. Dragonflies, herons, kingfishers. It's just a really, and they're just so friendly on here, so it's definitely worth making a trip down here. But we'll see how we get on with the bridges, and we'll see how we get on going back down through all the locks to get off the canal. And then if you're a boater and you do fancy coming here, you can see if it would suit you. So this is 5'10", and we're just floating up to her to make doubly sure, because we actually haven't taken down any of our solar panel mounts this time. We've got to be sure that we can reverse out if necessary. But as long as the first solar panel mount goes through, all the rest will follow. And it's gone through, but you can see there's very little space. Oops, down I go. H has decided as a precaution to take off the first solar panel mount. I think we're very shortly coming up to the low bridge. Okay, here we go. It's actually called the Reading Road Bridge, this one. They seem to get lower the closer you get to them. but we're through. Well, that's a relief. I think even on a year when the water was higher, if we took off more solar panel mounts, we'd get through. So it's good to know that, because we like this canal, and it'd be good to be able to come up here. It's reasonably local to us. We can get here by train. We've been coming along this canal for a few hours now, and soon we're coming up to a winding hole, and we're going to turn and go back. We haven't quite made it to the end. We can, but it would make it a very, very long day to get back again, and we thought we'd save the end for next year when we come back up here again. In the whole of last year I saw only one kingfisher, and I've seen 2 today already, and I think it's because there's not many people down here. I really love this canal. It's so friendly. The rangers who work up and down it are super kind and helpful. I like to have a litter picker on board, because I like to lean out the boat and pick up the rubbish as we go along. Rubbish in canals makes me very unhappy, and I left my litter picker at a lock the other day, and the next day one of the rangers came up and gave me this as a present, and it's much better than the one that I lost. So that's how nice they are here. Is it worth giving it a hard reverse back, to see if you can hear it? Or are you stuck?
Give me move it back.
Yeah, definitely moving back. There is a lot in the water. I could see it going under the boat from the front, mainly like wood and stuff.
I need the hat on. I'm going to crack my head open here.
Okay.
I'll hold this cap.
Sorry, we can't. We're stuck. We think there's something around the prop. We can go backwards, but we can't go forwards. So we picked something up. Thank you. Well, I don't know. I mean, it's might have done. It's quite tough, that, isn't it?
Mm.
Okay.
down first.
Yep. Well, we're off again. It wasn't really much around the prop. You know, there's mud and gravel under the rudder, so we just had to wiggle it around till we got off. It happens quite a lot, so it's no big deal. We're just looking for somewhere nice to moor because we're dying for a cup of tea now. Always time for tea. We're just coming up to a flash now, and you'll see it looks like a small lake. They're very shallow and they're mostly natural hollows in the ground, and they build an embankment on the other side and let them fill up. They're great havens for wildlife. It's a strange sensation being on a big body of water like this. But it's deceptive because it really is very shallow over there. There's a couple of old barges you can just see in the distance that are sunken. And one of them was the very last barge that went up to Basingstoke. You can't get there now. I can't remember the year that it went up there, but the birds like it. They're little islands now. They're covered in shrubs. We've seen the herons hanging off the edge of them. Well, we just moored up for the night. A fine mooring spot, it's okay. But a chap came along with some dogs called Brian, and he owns all the land over there. And he said he's got some much nicer moorings down there, and we can go and stay there for the night, which is a really nice thing to do. He said you sometimes get kids along here. I mean, we've spoken to a few today, fishing and that, they seem fine, but why not? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Well, this was Brian's land along here, and we thought it was a bit tricky. We weren't sure that it was going to be deep enough at the side, so we just kept going around the corner and came to Mitchett Lake. Much nicer. So this is where we spent the night. When you look down, the water is so clear you can see the bottom. No rubbish. Looked like there was some freshwater mussels, plenty of fish. This is the canal centre, sort of halfway down the canal. And they have a tea room there, advice, information, a slipway, campsite right next to it. And they even have loos and a shower there and a water point. So it's a really useful place. This morning we're just on our way up to Lock 28 where the dry dock is, to meet the ranger who's going to help us down the locks today. So we've got a full day of locks today and tomorrow, but with a bit of help because there's a flotilla coming up from the way in Arran over the weekend of quite a few boats. And I think there might be quite a special boat later on, we'll have to see. So it's better for the locks if we all pass each other and the locks aren't filled and refilled for all the boats singly. So it should be fun today. Due to rain later on, we do need it, but it would be nice if it held off till we got to the end of the lock. So anyway, hopefully when we get up there we'll just have time for coffee before Sarah turns up. Well, it's 9 o'clock, the rangers came in a bit early and we're going down the first lock. Henry's on his bike and he's going to go and set the locks. What you do on this canal is, as you leave the lock, you shut the gates but leave the paddle open on the tow path side, ready for the boats coming up. And we should start meeting them in a couple of hours. So we're going to see how long it takes us to do this set of locks today and tomorrow. See you in a bit. A lot of the locks here have very little landing stages, so it's definitely good to have somebody with you to do the locks ahead. Yeah, that would be cool. We've discovered some old lock gate that I can use for sculpture. There's also another funny sculpture over there. Somebody's put a little duck on top of a nest. Well, that was all the rubbish that was trapped behind the lock gates after Storm Eunice. That's a really cool piece of gate. I don't know if you can hear, but over there there's the sound of bagpipes being played. Must be the Scots Guard. I don't know who else would play bagpipes. It's very surreal going down through the locks and listening to bagpipes. I don't know if that's a clue. Starting to rain a little bit, but we're making good progress down the locks, and I've just seen the first of the boats coming up, so that's exciting. First boats we've seen in a while. Is it totally pedal powered?
No.
Oh.
I should have said yes, really. You know. Yeah. Richard's really fit in it, you know.
Is it like hybrid of?
It's got a great big diesel engine in the back, and it then has hydraulic pumps just to pump the paddles round.
Right.
It's terrific fun.
Yeah.
Terrific fun. And it should have a big bucket and weed cutter on the front, but it's not on it at the moment.
Right.
So lifting it, going just like the paddle, so it's in really shallow.
Yeah.
The paddle underneath, and then just lifting out the weed straight on the bank.
Oh right. We're on the last lock of the day, 17 locks. We started at 9 and it's 1:45. We've done them in record time. I thought we'd be going on till 4 or 5 o'clock. But we did meet the other boats at about lock 19 and they left all of the other locks open for us, which you can do on the Basingstoke because they know exactly who's coming up and who's coming down, so you don't have to worry about other boats coming. So we just drove straight into each lock and came down. So yeah, done by lunchtime, which was a surprise. Very easy day. No hold-ups, no getting stuck. Everything was perfect today. If you do come up the Basingstoke, you have to moor up between St John's Village and the Brookwood Flight. And you can, there's moorings all down by St John's, but it's a bit noisy. There's a road that goes right by the moorings there. So if you just come up a bit further, there's this lovely spot here, which probably never sees one narrowboat from one week to the next, but today has got 3 on it because we're going down and these are coming up for the boat festival. It's a slightly wonky mooring, sort of wooden jetty, and you need a plank to get on and off it. Hello Henry.
Hello Francis.
But it's really nice, it's really quiet, little fishing lake, heath. We're just at the St John's locks, waiting to go down for our last day. We were waiting for the rangers to come up and unlock them, but being numpties, we didn't realise they're actually unlocked. So we're good to go. Less locks today, 5, so about 11 today I think, so it shouldn't take too long. Won't be as quick as yesterday, I don't think, but there are 7 boats coming up today apparently, so let's go meet them. We're in the gap between lock flights now. We haven't met any of the other boats yet. Apparently there's 15 coming up today, but it's been quite uneventful so far. The gap between the lock flights is about 3 miles and you can't really see buildings over there, but anyway, it's Woking. Probably not the prettiest town, but it does have a theatre and plenty of shops, so, and lots of moorings, so you could stay here and visit it. The reason the boats are all coming up this weekend is to mark 30 years since the canal was reopened. We were chatting to a chap last night and he said that it was shut for a long time, 50 years or so. It used to have problems before anyway, but they wanted to create this triple SI, and he said it's one of the reasons they don't connect up to the Thames, because they don't want Thames water down here. Anyway, they decided to let boats on again because it was getting too silted up. This is all, you know, what he was telling me. I don't know if it's correct, because he said that the eco nuts on the Basingstoke don't want to connect to the Thames, which would make sense, but it's only fed by a few aquifers at the end from chalk streams. Oh, there we go, shut down Debenhams. That's probably half of Woking right there. Anyway, I should imagine we'll come across the other boats soon. First of the boats are up.
Another one in the distance.
Yeah. We've left them all.
Weird one. Hello.
Hi.
Hiya.
Thank you. Have a good weekend. Well, that's it. We've done all the flights. Took 4.5 hours again, which I think is still very quick, but we had the lock set for us. So, Basingstoke, what do you think?
Yeah, lovely. Definitely do that one again, for sure.
We're going to come up again next April, spend a month on here and get right to the end, because the end sounds like it's lovely. Railway line all the way along, so it's great for us when we need to nip back for weekends.
It's not always that close to the canal though.
No, there's no diesel on the Basingstoke, so you do need to fill up before you come. You wouldn't use up the tank anyway, it's not long enough. None of the boats today were having any problems coming up, were they?
No, the ranger said that she'd actually released a load of water,
Yeah.
because of the boat coming up, so that benefited us as well.
Yeah, but what I would say is it's lovely. It's so underused. Come down and try it. Come at the beginning of the summer, April, May, June. Lovely. It's just a really nice. It's just a really nice place. You know, it's totally worth it. Any standard boat is going to be able to get up or down it with caution. You'll have moorings to yourself. Really friendly people. So that's it, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Next week.
Didn't want to leave it, or don't want to
No,
leave
Henry
it.
didn't. Henry.
Still on it at the moment.
Well, for another 20 yards.
Yeah.
Next week we're going into that London for 2 weeks, doing a little bit of the tidal Thames for the first time. I'm quite looking forward to that. He's a bit worried, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It will be fine.
So that's the end of this video. Hope we've encouraged you to come down here. It needs more boats, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye for now.
Bye.